My wife has recently become obsessed with indoor houseplants, so she's progressively gotten more over the past, it's a year and a half, and now she's even propagating plants, so we're getting more and more plants, and she's really running out of places to put them. So I came up with this little idea to make some shelves, and in this video I only make 2, but I actually made 4 more. So you'll see at the very, very end, I actually put 6 shelves up in my kitchen around like a bay window. But anyways, I'm more of just like I didn't really have a plan for this or anything. I had an image in my head of what I was going for, so I was just kind of measuring it out and seeing if I had the materials to pull it off, which I didn't have to buy anything. This was all just stuff that I had. And it is 1x8 red oak, I believe. So I was just trying to map things out here. I got 1 out of this piece, I believe, and then I got another like 3 or so out of that full 4-foot piece right there. But I had a couple other scraps in my like little scrap bin that I have, so I ended up getting a couple more out of those too. But anyways, it's about, I think the shelf is about 8 inches long. It's about 8 inches wide. It's square-ish. And then the little like support piece that's underneath it, that's actually where the screws go through into the wall, is like 2.5 inches, I think. So, yeah. It's really kind of hard to get good angles for this for some reason. I can't figure out a good angle. So I tried different things. I know it looks like my fingers are really close there, but I promise you they're not. I always like double and triple check whenever I'm sawing something to make sure my fingers are not in the way. I'm like very cautious about that. I just had to shave off a little bit here. So then I had decided I didn't really want them to be square with 90-degree corners, because where they're at is right where my kitchen table is, and if you're sitting, my kitchen table is kind of like up against the window in a way, because our kitchen's kind of small, so having our table like that helps. You don't have to walk around the table if you're going to go out the door to our garage. So I didn't want, if someone was sitting in the chair that's like right beside the wall, I didn't want them like hitting their head on it, which the shelf is higher than your head, but you know, it's, I mean, I'm like 6 feet tall, and I don't hit my head on it, but it is close. Like I can brush it with the top of my head. But anyway, I just didn't want it to have a sharp corner, so on the front end of them, and then even on the bottom edge of the little bracket below, I cut just 45-degree angles, just so it kind of comes to like a flat point. I don't remember the exact measurement, to be honest, and I just kind of drew it out roughly, and I didn't like how skinny it came to originally, like the front flat point. So I ended up just kind of adjusting it and like eyeballing it to where I wanted it to be. So once I had the first one like drawn out, I just cut it, and then I just kind of traced that on the other ones and cut them all out so they'd be the same. I did the same thing with the little tiny pieces too. They're different. Like the measurements aren't the same at all for either one, but it looks fine once they're together. So I wasn't too concerned about all that. And again, they're not supposed to be, you know, super fancy. They're just little shelves to hold plants. This is probably kind of boring. I don't really know what to say here anymore. I probably could have sped this bit up a little bit, or just cut all this out. So anyway, cutting them off. I should have cut the other side first. I realized that after I did a couple of them, because that little bit that's catching the fence there is really small, and then once you cut it, it kind of can shift on you a little bit. And I actually had a piece shift, and it shot the little triangle off and scared the crap out of me. So I did better the next couple times I was doing it. Still didn't do it on this one, but I don't even know if I recorded it when I had finally realized I should cut the other angle first, but I didn't. So, but this piece here is the one that shoots off. It was wild. Oh no, it wasn't this one. What piece was it? Was it one of the little pieces? I guess it was. These were scary to cut. I did not enjoy cutting these at all. Again, the same thing. I should have done this. I should have done it the other way. And I did end up changing it later. Like I would cut the longer piece first so I didn't have to do this short piece like this. But it was still scary. And I actually had another one shoot off, and it almost hit me in the head. It was crazy. Like it went right past my head. I mean, I was wearing safety glasses over top of my like prescription glasses, but it still scared me. I mean, if it would have hit me in the head, it probably would have drew blood. This is when it shoots off. Yeah, I slow mode it. You can see it come all the way back too. It hit the wall and came back. So anyway, that's the two pieces. It's the shelf piece and then the little bracket piece that's going to hold it to the wall. So you can kind of see my concept there. So now I just drilled pocket holes in because I didn't want you to be able to see how they were attached to each other. I mean, you can still see the screws attached to the wall, but at least this way they're held together with screws by the pocket holes and glue, which I use Gorilla Wood glue because it's just the wood glue I have. And I mean, I know it's not the best wood glue, but I didn't even pay for it. Someone gave it to me, so it's just, I might as well use it for little things like this. I wouldn't use it for something larger, but, or anything that I wanted to make sure the glue had a good bond. Like if I was gonna bond two pieces together and then like plane it, if I had a planer, I would obviously use something like Tight Bond. But for this project, the little Gorilla Wood glue is fine, and I might as well just use it up since it was free. So each one has 3 pocket holes in it. I think there's a 1/2 inch pocket hole. I think I used the 1/2 inch setting. I'm pretty sure it was the 1/2 inch setting. And then it just has a little 1 inch screw. The only other screws I had were 1 1/4, and they would have been too long. It would have poked out. So at least half the screw goes in, so it works fine. So I just gave them a quick sand. I think I only went up to like 180, so they're not like perfectly smooth, but I mean, they're smooth. They don't have any rough edges. And I just kind of, I need to get a little block plane so I can like run it along the corners and get a nice little like 45 edge. But I just used my sander and just kind of rounded the edge off a little bit so it wasn't sharp. So here you can see the little screws. And I did put glue on it. I just didn't show myself gluing it. But you can see the cursed Gorilla Glue bottle in the back. I know that's really like a big no-no in woodworking. You shouldn't use Gorilla Wood glue, but whatever. I'm not making crazy expensive projects for anyone, so these are all just things I'm making for myself. So if it breaks, it breaks. I'll just make it again. I was also really afraid of splitting the wood because it's right on the edge, like of end grain, but it didn't. So It's not going in that far either. I don't show me putting them on the wall, but each one has four just like the screw in drywall anchors. They're togglers. They can hold like 60 pounds or something in drywall. Each one has four, so it's plenty. And one of them, the one on the right with the white pot, that actually has one screw in the stud. So I'm happy with it. Wife is happy. That's all that matters.